Good morning, guys. How are you? Holding up? Good? Yep. Long weekend. We got a lot to talk about today. First and foremost, I want to let you know that the 2 a.m. update came out just a few moments ago. They're going to do hourly updates now as the storm continues to get closer to South Florida. And Irma has strengthened back to a Category 4 hurricane. So that is something that we were watching, something that we saw happening. If we could take my Max 2 computer, please, the Max 2. Do we have it? We have it. We're going to use this one. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. I was going to show the radar first, but we're good. Let me show you the latest here. Winds at 130 miles per hour, moving northwest at 6 miles per hour. If you're following along, if you're tracking, I know a few people have asked me about this. 23.7 north, 81.3 west. As it continues to move to the north, expected to possibly make landfall in Key West at about 8 o'clock this morning as a Category 3, although I don't see... there's still that possibility it will remain a Category 4 hurricane as it makes its way up past the Florida Keys here. There may be some weakening from wind shear that occurs in here, but this storm has been fairly unpredictable as far as fluctuating between Cat 3, Cat 4, even Cat 4, Cat 5 at times. So we'll see what happens in here. Historically speaking, this area is pretty good for enhancement of storms as they begin to move up to the north. As we get to tonight at around 8 p.m., we're talking about the potential for a Category 3 hurricane making landfall right along the west coast of Florida here. Now, the cone still works inland a little bit here, so that means the center of the storm still has the potential to shift a little bit over to the east, in which case we would see a greater impact. But even as it moves up along the west coast here, if this is the final track of the storm, we still have a long way to go. In fact, we now have an enhanced risk for tornadoes for our area today because of the storm's approach and the angle at which these feeder bands are moving in along the coast. And it's fairly typical with a tropical cyclone like this. And then as we get up to tomorrow morning, it's already headed up toward the panhandle here as a Category 1, eventually a tropical storm, and then making its way off to the northwest and falling apart and just becoming a remnant low. So a pretty fast forward motion now as it begins to move off the coast there. I know that the 2 a.m. update has it moving at about 6 miles per hour, but I think we can expect this speed to increase as we work our way through the day today and especially overnight tonight into tomorrow. Let's take a quick look. James, if we can go back to the radar there at the top. And actually, we could take live Viper 5 Max if we want to, and I can show you the flood warning that we have in effect now. For St. Lucie County, we continue to see that big feeder band just pouring into this area. Look at Fort Pierce, just rain after rain after rain after rain. We're getting so much rainfall just pushing in here. Through the Jupiter area, this is pretty heavy rainfall moving up to the north toward Stewart right now, kind of pushing through Tequesta and up to the north. And there's a lot more offshore here. I think yesterday, if you joined us yesterday morning, you saw that between the eye and the outer bands of this storm is about 200 miles of rainfall that's pushing up toward Florida here. So there's a lot more on the way throughout the day today, and conditions are going to deteriorate pretty fast through the day as the storm continues to work its way to the north there. We getting a little spin there, James? Up there? No, it looks all right? Okay. So we have that enhanced risk for tornadic activity. And so that means that as these cells and these bands come on shore, they are at an angle where they create a little bit of a spin. And we had a slew of tornado warnings overnight last night, like right in a row, and that happens very quickly. And these are tornadoes that form and then disappear, form and then disappear. So you're going to see Felicia and me a lot today just coming on and saying there's a tornado warning for this small amount of time for this area, and we'll try to track it as best we can, but this rainfall is moving really, really fast. So we'll give you, I mean, you're already shuttered up, you're already hunkered down, and you may have to move just to an interior room briefly as these tornadoes whip on by these areas throughout the morning. So we've got a lot going on this morning, but the good news is, if there is any in this whole mess, is that this is a pretty fast moving storm now as it moves away from Cuba and starts to work its way up to the north. So we are expecting conditions to start clearing up pretty quickly as we get to tonight and to tomorrow, and especially by tomorrow afternoon. It's a whole different story. Right now, James tracking the distance for me, 58 miles from the eye up to Key West right now. And as I mentioned, the Hurricane Center stating they could see a landfall in Key West, or we could see landfall in Key West around 8 a.m. this morning. So we're going to go back here and I want you to look at this. Can we tilt this back, James? Can we just to get a look at the cloud heights? there as this thing moves up there. There we go. We can get a better idea of how it intensifies. And if you watch the clouds just building around the eye here, you can see that strengthening occurring as it starts to move to the north. That's pretty incredible there. This storm has just been just unbelievable with the way it's developed and the way it's continued to strengthen and weaken a little bit and re-strengthen. So we have a lot of data to look over this morning. Meteorologist Felicia Combs has just joined me here in the studio, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with a lot more information, some new graphics, kind of breaking down for you when we're going to see what throughout the day today and tonight and into tomorrow. And we'll have some more information on the storm's current position. And also, we're going to keep showing the radar throughout the morning because we are just getting swamped, and we will get swamped throughout the day today with some pretty heavy rainfall. We'll be right back.